to Anything Goes podcast. I am your host, Kombat AllStar. Man, there's been so much that has been going on, or so much that's been happening since last podcast. I feel like I want to talk about everything. Man, I'm recording this super late. I was supposed to record it earlier in the day. I was supposed to have some really cool guests, which I was saving for next week's podcast. But man, it's just been a really hectic day. So I'm delivering this to you. Still going to be on Monday, still on time, but just a little later in the night, late night. So, yeah, podcast is here. Glad that you guys showed up. Just a reminder to everybody out there, at podcast number 101, we will officially be off YouTube for good, and we'll be at our new home at the archive.org. Archive.org. I was going to say .com, but no, just archive.org. As always, the link is in the description. I'll be, pimping this out on Facebook and Twitter and all that good stuff. And then this will post up on a delay, a 2 to 3 day delay on YouTube like I've been doing. But episode 100 will be the last episode that will appear on YouTube. So please get comfortable, get used to, going to archive.org to listen to this, because that's where the podcast will be. Still trying to work out the kinks with Stitcher, so hopefully in the future it'll be on Stitcher and archive.org, but definitely on archive.org is where the podcast is going to live. So let's get into the fun stuff. Let's get into the topics. I actually wanted to talk about I wanted to talk about EVO, Evolution Tournament 2017. A lot of really cool stuff happened this year. A lot of really new stuff. One of the newest things that EVO's done this year, aside from being on ESPN, which is pretty cool. Of course, they were on ESPN last year too, but they did reveals. So revealing new characters, like Geese Howard for Tekken 7, revealing new game, the Blaze Blue tag. So after every tournament ended, they revealed something new. Whether it's a new character or a new entry in the series. That sounds pretty cool. I wanted to get some kind of opinions or bounce some ideas about the last guy who was on the Street Fighter tournament. So I think it was Tokita and Punk. Yeah, see, it's such an easy, forgettable name. I don't know why I chose Punk. But Tokita and Punk were the last match. It was awesome. They were like rivals. The commentating was great, first of all. It was fantastic. I felt like I was watching Lucha Underground. The Asian dude, I can't remember his name. He sounded just like Matt Striker. It was eerie and unreal, but he did a great job. And they were sitting and they were doing some history on the fighters and everything to make it just awesome, I guess. So we got a lot of backstory on where these guys came from, other tournaments they played in, stuff like that. Their main characters, if they, I think they called them any fighter, where they would fight with any character. So they were just kind of choosing, characters based on who they were playing and stuff like that. So it made it really cool, and I really enjoyed it. I think the commentating was fantastic for Street Fighter. For other games, not so much, but I feel like they go all in when it comes to Street Fighter. It being on ESPN, the commentating, the presentation. I feel like they just go all out. So, anyway, back to the last match between Punk and Takedo. Those guys went at it, and the commentator was saying that last time they met, and I think it was a tournament in California, Takedo beat Punk 10-1. Before he won a match. So I think they maybe played 12 times, but he just got slaughtered by this guy. In this tournament, they fought early on, and Punk put Takedo in the losers bracket. So if you guys don't know, when you first start playing in any kind of tournament like Evo or CEO, you have a winners and losers bracket. So two guys will play. The winner will go to the winner's bracket. The loser will go to the loser's bracket. Pretty simple. But what happens in the loser's bracket is you go all the way through, and if you get to the grand finals, come out of the loser's bracket, you have to win 3. And you have to win 6 actually. So in a typical game, you got what? The best out of 3, right? But if you're coming out of the losers bracket, you got to win 3, and then it'll reset. So what that means is everyone will go 0-0, loser and winner. And then if the loser that comes out of the losers bracket wins another 3, he wins. If wins 2, he wins. It's best 2 out of 3. Same thing with the winner. The winner just has to win best 2 out of 3, and he automatically wins. So that's how it goes. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing how I explained that. But anyway, you got to win a whole heck of a lot in order to win the grand finals. So after Taquito went to the losers bracket, he struggled. He struggled all the way through, and he ended up winning. Meanwhile, Punk was just blowing through everybody in the tournament like they were nobodies. It was pretty embarrassing, but pretty cool for him. And he just, went to the grand finals and was just chilling. And then when they got to the grand finals, it was him, Punk versus Taquito. The commentator was like, "This is the last person he wants to face. This is the last person he would want to make it out of the losers bracket." But he made it out of the losers bracket, and I mean, he dominated. He dominated this kid, and I could see it when they first, when he grabbed his controller and everything, and he went to go sit next to Taquito and pick up his controller, and he just looked like defeated. He looked like he sat in that chair after he hooked up everything, waiting for, the first game to start between these guys, and he was just really down. I mean, his face was drooped over. It was like he was defeated already. And when they played, I mean, he played defeated. He didn't play like he played prior. He played like, it's bad enough in the tournament he was the last American left, and then he's playing against his arch rival who's from Japan, so he has the weight of the country on his shoulders, people in the audience cheering USA. He has the, this impossible guy that he has to beat. So he just wasn't, his mind was gone. I mean, he lost before he even, pressed the first button to throw the first jab. It wasn't good. It was ugly, and it was bad. But he's only 16, not 16. Punk is only 18. So for him to wipe through everybody else, the guy he was playing, Taquito, has been gaming, professionally gaming, longer than he's been alive, and he just, he did great. He did great. He was in a great position, but his mind wasn't right. He just got destroyed, and it was sad. I mean, it was sad at the end too, because he even cried. He went off, he cried, and then when they were handing out the ribbons and the trophies, he was tearing up, and I guess he was trying to hold it in, maybe not. But he was, crying a little bit, and the guy, I guess one of the staff organizers that was handing out the ribbons, gave him a hug and whispered in his ear or something. So hopefully that kid's okay. I mean, I tweeted him. I thought he did a great job, and it's not easy. It's not easy for you to be that young and that new to the scene and get so far so fast. That's a big accomplishment. That is a big accomplishment, and give the guy who's been doing it for a long time a run for his money in this tournament, and even defeat him and put him in the losers bracket in the first place. That's a pretty big deal. So, hats off to that guy. He earned it. He freaking earned it. So, second place, to legit say you're the second best gamer in the world is still a big deal. So, just my 2 cents. The overall tournament was awesome. I loved it. Everything about EVO was great. I skipped the Smash Brothers tournament because I hate Smash Brothers. I kind of, halfway watched Blaze Blue because I'm not a fan of Blaze Blue, even though that wasn't a bad tournament. But yeah, all in all, it was another great EVO. Liked it a lot. Kind of wish they, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I don't have any critiques for it. I was gonna say, kind of wish it was, more flash, better commentating all the way around. But I get different people are commentating for different games because that's their love and all that kind of stuff. But just because you love like Tekken, or you love Blaze Blue, or you love Injustice, or whatever it may be, just because you love it doesn't mean you're gonna make a great commentator. So I was gonna say I really wish they would just have some good commentating all the way around. But you know, you get what you can get. You know, if you're a great commentator and you hate Tekken and you're commentating Tekken, it's not going to be all that great. So I don't know. So I mean, that's basically my 2 cents on Evo. Another thing I wanted to kind of talk about is when I was watching Evo, like, okay, so back in the days, before Evo got like super big, they used to, you know, play on PCs. So before Evo got like super big, they used to play on PCs. And that was like the standard format for all this, you know, gaming and everything. I'm not sure when it happened, but maybe the last couple years, they started playing on consoles. So, for example, Street Fighter tournament was on PS4, which is, you know, it's great. I guess it's a console exclusive for PS4, but you can also play it on PC. But I thought that was pretty interesting to see, you know, that kind of shift and transition go from, you know, tournament playing on PC to going to consoles. I thought that was kind of cool. But it made me think about the console cycle. Now, if you guys don't know, if you haven't been up and up on the news, Sony has confirmed PS5. They confirmed the PlayStation 5, and it's going to be coming out really soon. There's a lot of reports on David Pachter, who's a gaming analyst, talking about it's going to be coming out in 1919, possibly, not 1919, 2019, I should say. 1919, oh my gosh, that would be like, that's way back in the day. Anyway, it's going to be coming out in 2019. Very possibly, if you know they run into issues, pushing it back, 2020. So 2019, 2020, we're looking at a new PlayStation, which is crazy because I feel like the PS4 just came out, and then also Microsoft is they're going to be. There's been confirmation that Microsoft's working on their next console. It's going to be coming out, and it's weird because, you know, Xbox's whole approach is we're going to just create a family of consoles, and they're all going to be Xbox something, but they're going to be geared at different people, kind of like the Roku. You know, you got the Roku 1 through 5 or 1 through 6 or whatever, and then you got the Roku Express. So I mean, it's all the same thing, all the same interface, but it's just what kind of person are you? Do you like the HDMI that just plugs into the back of the TV? Are you into the box that you can actually sit, you know, in your living room? Do you want a Roku, you know, the bigger box that you actually has like a headphone jack in it? You know what I mean? And the remote control, so you can listen to things by yourself if, you know, you got people sleeping, you're staying up late. So it's the same thing, but just different features. And that's what Xbox is kind of going for, or Microsoft is going for, I should say. So when I hear that they're releasing a new Xbox, it's not that big a deal because they're not changing too much. I mean, if they're gonna, you know, the new Gears of War, the new Halo or whatever, it's gonna be out for Xbox. Anybody on an Xbox can get it, whether it's Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox X1, yeah, Xbox X1, or this new Xbox is coming out. So they're doing this whole laundry list line of Xboxes, and they're not doing, you know, the console cycle anymore. And then you got PlayStation, who's not taking that model. They're doing the traditional model. So when they get the PS5 coming in there, all the other stuff is just obsolete. I mean, they got PlayStation Now, but all the stuff, all your library, you know, kiss it goodbye. And I remember talking to someone about this not too long ago, and we were talking about how the cycles have just been going shorter and shorter. And, you know, it's funny, I remember when they released, I think it was the 360 and the PS3, and they were talking about how, you know, these machines are becoming so powerful, the life cycles aren't going to be, well, they said they were going to be longer because they're so powerful that they're going to last you a long time, and life cycles are going to be 10 years. And I believe the life cycle of the Xbox 360 and the PS3 was like, what, 7 years instead of 10 years? And then, you know, you got the PS4 and the Xbox One come out, and then those life cycles, I don't know. It's weird. Like 4 years into it, can't believe it's been 4 years since PS4 and Xbox One came out, but 4 years into the life cycle, and we already have, you know, an Xbox One S that was released like last year, so that's like 3 years into the life cycle, and then, you know, PS4 Pro, which I believe was like 2 or 3 years into the life cycle, which is like kind of a half step. So they're already coming out with more boxes and the quote unquote life cycle of the standard Xbox One or the standard PlayStation, and then, you know, you're doing it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would you have a complete life cycle that's maybe 7 years, but then every 2 to 3 years you're releasing a half step? It's like you're not giving it time to breathe, to become its own thing before you're pushing out some more hardware. So, I mean, I've always been an advocate of PC gaming. The thing that sold me on PC gaming, you guys know, long-time listeners, long-time viewers of the Atomic Cast or Kombat AllStar show, you guys know that the reason why I made the big switch from console gaming to PC gaming is because I wanted everything on one box. I wanted all of my games, Mortal Kombat 1 through whatever, to be on one box. I don't have to upgrade every 10 years and lose my entire library. I mean, granted, Xbox One, they're doing this whole backwards compatibility thing, and they're making your old games playable, which is great. I feel like it's a little too late for that. So that was my big thing. I just want everything on one box. I was tired of, you know, having my favorite games like Bushido Blade and like Bust a Groove, and these were like PlayStation 1 games, right? All those classics, you know, Crash Bandicoot, although they have remade Crash Bandicoot, but that's not the point. I had a huge, awesome library of amazing games, and then as soon as the PlayStation 2 came out, all those games became obsolete. What's even worse about those obsolete games is a lot, you know, nowadays you got a lot of games that are, you know, they need online. You know, most of, you know, after you play the story mode, you know, the best fun about those games, you know, is online, like Halo or even the latest, not Uncharted 4, I think it was, that was on PS3. It's like those games are awesome, and, you know, after you're done, you have a lot of replay value because of the online aspect of it, because of the multiplayer aspect of it. And when, you know, you have those games and you're like, all right, this is a great game, I want to be able to go back to it, and the best part of the game is shut down because they shut down the servers because they're working on the next game, or the servers only have a life cycle of maybe 2 to 3 years. It sucks. It's like I have this awesome library of games, and now I can't play it anymore for one reason or another. But with PC, it's like, you know, I have Jet Set Radio on there. You know, I have Streets of Rage, you know, on there. Granted, those games didn't need internet, but I have them all in one box. And I still do have my old school stuff, my Dreamcast, my Sega Genesis, because I like playing the old school games on the old school consoles. But the fact that I can have multiple generations of games on one box, no matter, you know, how far into the future I go, I always have them on my hard drive. I'm able to go back and play them anytime I want. I didn't have to spend money, you know, buying a new box every 2 years, or, you know, how they're doing it right now, every 2 to 3 years with these half steps, or, you know, feel like I got cheated because I got the original one. And then when my new library comes, or when I get the new, you know, PlayStation, will say, then I'm kind of screwed with all my other stuff. So to me, it was like, I'm a gamer. I don't care. I don't have brand loyalty. I don't care about, you know, PlayStation. I don't care about Xbox. I mean, I don't care about any of that stuff. All I know is I'm a gamer. I like to game, and these are the games I like to play. I like to play, before I got bad, I guess, Halo. I like to play God of War. I like to play, you know, all these games, and I want to be able to continue to play them for as long as I'm alive. I mean, heck, maybe I dust it off when I'm 80 years old. Back in my day, I used to play God of War, and I can just go in there, pop in, playing God of War on the box I've had forever. I just, you know, Frankenstein it. Upgrade the monitor, upgrade the graphics card, upgrade the power supply. If, you know, in the future I need more power for things, you know, bigger cards. If Blu-ray's not in anymore and have like Ultra Gold Ray, I want to be able to upgrade the disc drive. You know, just kind of taking things out and spending, maybe, you know, $400 or $500 every, like, what, 7 years, you know, 7 8 years, spending, like, you know, not even that. I mean, you get yourself a good video card. I got my RX 480, I believe. Yeah, RX 480 last year, but it'll last me, man, last me forever. I feel like, you know. Same with I just got a 4K monitor. That's gonna last me a long time. There's still games. I mean, 4K is just starting to happen, and there's a lot of games out there that run on 4K on PC, but they haven't really been able to take advantage of it. So it's like when you buy your parts for PC, you're kind of ahead of the curve. You're at least 5 or 6 years ahead of the curve, and then, you know, you do small upgrades here and there, instead of going out and buying, you know, a whole new game, you know, a whole new console, then buying the membership to be able to play online, whether it's Xbox Gold or PS Plus, and then, you know, going out and buying extra controllers. And I mean, all this stuff adds up. Controllers $60, Xbox Live freaking $60 a year. You know what I mean? Then you have, you know, the hard drive. You know, these hard drives are ridiculous. You gotta buy an external, like, it's just nickel and diming you, and it adds up. It adds up so fast, and to spend that amount of money every single, you know, I mean, I'm just following a trend here. Every couple years, 2-3 years, is crazy. It's insane. So I can't dig it. I can't get down with it. So that's why I'm a PC. That's why I love gaming on PC. And I don't know what's going to happen with these consoles. If it's, I mean, I don't think it's going to, like, go away. You know what I mean? I think people like console gaming too much to just stop buying consoles. But I don't know how this is going to play out, how it's going to pan out. I mean, hopefully, you know, PlayStation takes cue from Microsoft, and they do kind of a family of consoles like what they're doing, you know what I mean, like the Roku or the iPhone or whatever. But I mean, hopefully that happens, and that's the way to go. I mean, because if it's not, I don't know how much longer these companies have. Even PlayStation, who's super successful right now, we all know how it goes. You know, last generation, they weren't super successful. You know, the year before that, they were super successful. So, you know, it really depends on how things go. But I don't know how much longer, you know, they're going to be able to last doing the model that they have. So, my 2 cents. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about the shorter consoles, like shorter console cycles. Let me know what you think about Evo if you saw it. I'll leave some links in the description so you guys can see some footage from Evo, from the tournament. Just let me know what you think about everything. Like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, y'all, so long.